It's been almost 20 years since Blizzard Entertainment launched World of Warcraft, and it has consistently exceeded expectations as the game changer in the MMO genre. And as the game has evolved, so too has its approach to character representation and storytelling. Players have witnessed a shift towards more diverse and inclusive characters, reflecting a broader spectrum of identities and backgrounds. And this inclusivity has been extended not only to characters, but also to the themes explored within the game's quests and storylines. In this video, we're going to be exploring the landscape of LGBTQ+ representation in the World of Warcraft. Now let's get into it. The Legion expansion in World of Warcraft first released in August 2016, and it brought significant changes, new content, and refreshed aspects of the game. While the expansion was well received, it introduced exciting features like artifact weapons, class halls, and new zones. What truly set the Legion expansion apart were the subtle hints at introducing LGBTQ+ characters. Although the representation at this stage was minimal and unconfirmed, Legion laid the groundwork for more inclusive storytelling within the game's universe. If you are a player at this time, you might have noticed intriguing developments during quests and dialogues in the Suramar storyline. For example, there was a subtle but suggestive relationship between first Arcanist Telisra, leader of the Nightborn, and Lady Liadrin, leader of the Blood Knights. The interactions hinted at a deeper bond that could be interpreted as a romantic relationship, though it was not explicitly stated in-game. The inclusion of these characters marked a step toward broader inclusivity and representation, and the LGBTQ+ community and players speculated and discussed the potential representation of Telisra and Liadrin, celebrating the possibility of diverse relationships being acknowledged within the game's rich and colorful universe. This subtle yet significant move by Blizzard was seen as a step in the right direction, showing a willingness to embrace and reflect the diversity of its player base. It set the stage for more explicit LGBTQ+ representation in subsequent expansions, paving the way for a more diverse and inclusive game world. Battle for Azeroth is the 7th expansion for World of Warcraft, released in August 2018. Besides the new features that were introduced, the expansion also marks a significant step forward for LGBTQ+ representation, because it was then that Blizzard first introduced explicit LGBTQ+ characters and storylines. One of the most notable LGBTQ+ representations in Battle for Azeroth involves Flynn Fairwind, a charming rogue, and Matthias Shaw, the stoic leader of SI7, the Alliance's intelligence agency. Their relationship evolves throughout the expansion, with subtle hints and interactions that suggest a deeper bond. By the end of the expansion, it becomes more apparent that their relationship is romantic in nature. This development was positively received by many players who appreciated the inclusion of a same-sex relationship between two prominent characters. This was another milestone for representation, and the positive reception of these characters and their storylines encouraged the development team to continue exploring diverse relationships in other expansions. In November 2020, Shadowlands was released as the 8th expansion for World of Warcraft. The expansion featured several instances of LGBTQ+ representation. Remember the subtle relationship hints between Flynn and Shaw in Battle for Azeroth? Well, Shadowlands provided further development of that relationship, with more interactions that suggested a deepening romantic connection which reinforced success as a same-sex couple. Another significant character in Shadowlands is Pelagos, a Kyrian soul who had a female form at birth but became male in death. Pelagos has an entire stay a while and listen moment in Bastion where he says this: "I had a female form in life. I don't recall my former name or even my race, but I never felt like my physical form represented who I was inside. It never felt as clear to me as it does now. I struggled with that identity for my entire life. When I arrived in Bastion, I became an aspirant that looked like, well, this, a male form. I felt comfortable, excited, and who I was inside matched what others saw for the first time. All of those feelings in my life finally made sense. I may not reach ascension as fast as some, but I'm truly happy on the path I follow." Pelagos' story touches on themes of identity and self-discovery, and his character is treated with respect and depth throughout the narrative. This was a groundbreaking moment for transgender representation in World of Warcraft. Additionally, the expansion introduced a new feature called the Ember Court, which is a social gathering where players can invite guests from across the Shadowlands. One notable aspect of the Ember Court is its inclusion of characters with diverse backgrounds and identities. The presence of characters with different sexual orientations and gender identities in this social setting further emphasizes Blizzard's commitment to showcasing a more inclusive community of characters. Released in November 2022, the Dragonfly expansion isn't just colorful and vivid, it is also deeper into a myriad of diverse characters. There is significantly more LGBTQ+ representation during quests compared to previous expansions. making it more inclusive and reflective of the real world, which adds to the game's immersive quality. One of his notable characters are the male ecologists Iska and Taru, who are a gay couple that even adopt a duck. Players also meet Miguel and Thomas, who are a married gay couple through profession quests starting in the Waking Shore. Another standout LGBTQ+ representation is Monarch, a Null who uses they/them pronouns. What's intriguing is that players can inquire whether Monarch is a king or queen, to which they respond, "I am Monarch." And then of course, there are two male centaurs, Narmin and Dawa, that want to get married in the Onaran Plains. One more from Dragonfly is Rashka from the Onaran Plains, another centaur whose girlfriend has been killed by Gorloks, and you have to return her medallion so that she can mourn her properly. Moreover, players can opt for numbered body types rather than selecting a gender, allowing for a broader range of character customization. As of 10.2.7, there is also a questline called Being Yourself, in which players help one of the main leaders of the Dracthyr, Scale Commander Emberthal, to find out what makes her unique. Players are asked to talk to various NPCs across the Dragon Isles, meeting up with familiar faces and even new ones. Among these faces are plenty of LGBTQ+ characters, including the Keen Bluffs and their adopted Valpyr daughter Mova, as well as Satun, who is head over hooves for the Dryad Arena. As the latest expansion of the World of Warcraft game, Dragonflight further reaffirms Blizzard's commitment to inclusivity, setting a new standard in the gaming industry. But Blizzard's impressive progressiveness when it comes to its game is not by accident. The World of Warcraft dev team is quite diverse, and it is this diversity that allows for the super realistic perspective in crafting characters, quests, and challenges, all of which enrich the game's narrative depth. Also, beyond official content, the player community itself has created a vibrant LGBTQ+ presence within the game. Guilds, role-playing communities, and even pride parades within the game have become common, fostering a more inclusive environment. During pride parades, players organize and participate in in-game pride parades, where characters march through cities or zones adorned with rainbow-themed outfits and banners. These events often trigger real-life discussions on social media and streaming platforms. Additionally, charity drives and awareness campaigns are another facet of the community's efforts. Streamers and content creators host charity streams to help raise funds for LGBTQ+ organizations like the Trevor Project or GLAAD. Community leaders use their platforms to promote awareness of LGBTQ+ issues and encourage Blizzard to enhance representation within the game. In fact, World of Warcraft Dragonflight was nominated for a 2023 GLAAD Award for Outstanding Video Games for its LGBTQ+ representation. Obviously, many individuals have voiced displeasure over the ongoing inclusion of the LGBTQ+ community, but Blizzard Entertainment continues to push forward and enhance the diversity of Azeroth. I eagerly anticipate the new features of the upcoming expansion, The War Within, particularly with the growth of existing LGBTQ+ characters and the introduction of new ones. What do you think that's going to look like? Feel free to drop your comments below. And with this, we have come to the end of the video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!